Hey there, welcome back YouTubers. I'm sorry, Game of Thrones episode 3 came up last Sunday, but it was also Mother's Day, so I was really busy. I didn't get a chance to watch it until really late, like 3 in the morning. So I was busy and I was also sick up until now, so I didn't get a chance to review it. As always, spoiler, if you watched my videos before, you know I do a spoiler review. For me, there's just no point of doing a spoiler free, because if you haven't seen the episode or a movie, why watch the review of it? So spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, go watch it and we can start. So yeah, let's get right to it. Okay, so right up front, I do want to say that this is probably my least favorite episode of this season. And keep in mind, it's only been 3 episodes, so that's not saying much, but still. This is season 6 of Game of Thrones, episode 3, Oathbreaker. So we picked up exactly where it ended, with Jon Snow coming back to life. Now, I gotta say, I was a bit disappointed, because I thought it would be more dramatic when he does come back. Well, when he comes back, he haven't really changed much. It's not like he's darker, he's more evil, or it's not that he have lost a lot of his memory or his mind or anything like that. He pretty much came back Jon Snow, still, full of conscience, and still a good guy, and still the hero. He's pretty much just Jon Snow coming back to life. That's it. Now, what was interesting is what happens at the end of the episode. Right, I'm gonna stick with Jon Snow's story. At the end of the episode, he does have to execute the people that conspired against him. Ser Arhur Dayne, Ollie, and then 2 other guys, and then they were hanging by their neck, and he cuts the rope to kill them. But as he's walking past each one of them, again, Ser Arhur Dayne, he's a real character. He's not, in his mind, he's never a villain, and we're forced to almost feel for the guy. He's basically fighting for a cause, and he's willing to die for it all the way to the end. Ollie, I hate that kid. Like he died with hatred. He looked at Jon Snow, and it looked like, given a chance, he would kill him again. I thought that kid would regret it, because when he stabbed Jon in the last season, he looked like he was about to cry, like almost like he has some kind of remorse. But here he's just full of bitter and hate, And then Jon, just cut the rope, and they all die, all of them. And then Jon took off his mantle, right? His cape or whatnot, his jacket, and handed it to Ed, and said, "You know what? Now you're the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. He is done." And as he's walking out, he say, and his watch is ended. And it makes sense, because Jon Snow is technically dead, so he's relieved of his duty. And I thought that was the most interesting thing that happened to Jon Snow in this episode. Not that he came back to life, which is weird, it should be, but because he have decided to leave the watch. And I really want to see where this is gonna go. The only drawback with that is Sansa is going to Castle Black, and again, they're gonna miss Jon Snow. Like, how many times are they gonna miss Jon Snow? Bran had a chance to meet up with Jon before at Craster's Keep, and they didn't. And now again with Sansa. So I don't know, they're gonna keep playing this cat and mouse game for how much longer, but it is what it is. The next scene in the episode was with Gilly and Sam, and I didn't really hate the scene. I just felt that it was dragging and unnecessary. I mean, you do get bits of information, like Sam is trying to bring Gilly to his hometown, his country or whatever, Hornhill. That's what it's called. So she thought they were going to go King's Landing to Old Town so he can learn to become a maester, but he's not bringing Gilly and Sam with him, so he's just gonna go by himself. And he's gonna bring her back to his hometown, Hornhill. and that's about it, you know. But the scene dragged on, and they talked about how Gilly considers Sam a father to her son Sam, and it just showed even more of Sam's pathetic side. He's like throwing up the whole way, blah, blah. And it shows that Gilly started reading now. She can distinguish between C and C, like, you know, the C and just C. And so I mean, it's kind of redundant. It is not like it helps them bond anymore in that. It just, yeah, it's just more of Gilly and Sam scene, which, to be completely honest, weren't all that interesting to begin with, minus one or two scenes. Now, going on to my probably most favorite part of this episode is the flashback that Bran has with his father, Ned Stark, and Roland Reed, Miller Reed's father. Yeah, so it was Bran and the Three-Eyed Raven going back in time to the Tower of Joy, right? And that is where they kept his sister, Lyanna Stark. So Ned and 5 of his men came to the tower to rescue her. And here we have 2 Targaryen knights. And one of them is Ser Arhur Dayne, the Sword in the Morning. I keep hearing about him and how he's this, you know, probably the greatest knight in the kingdom at the time and whatnot. And you get to see him in action. And I was just so freaking, like, excited, you know. So Ned Stark showed up, and I mean, for the most part, the guy that played the young Ned is pretty good. You know, his demeanor is pretty spot on. His face is kind of strange. Like, it was really hard for me to see him growing into the old Ned. You know, they got very different facial structures. But so Ned came down and got into a conversation with Arthur Dayne. He's like, release my sister, and this and that, and there's like no can do. So they get into a battle. You know, it's 2 knights versus 5, and Ser Arhur Dayne make short work of all of them. Like bam, 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 and he got 2 swords, his wing, and like shoo, 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 and it was just like awesome, you know. And I'm like, dude, he can fight. And even Bran said it. Bran was like, he's way better than my dad. Like, how is my father able to like beat him? Everybody know the story that Ned beat Ser Arhur Dayne, but he's looking at it and he's like, no way. So anyway, everybody died, right? At the end, it was just Ned versus Ser Arthur, and then bam, bam, and then Ned lost. He lost his sword, and then Ser Arthur was about to kill him, but then Roland Reed came up from behind Ser Arthur and stabbed him on the back, right through his throat. And pretty much they cheated. That's how Ned won, right? So after the fight, they hear a huge scream coming out from the tower, like, ah, from a woman. Sound like she was either getting like tortured or giving birth. At which point, I'm thinking, Jon Snow, right? That's Jon Snow. Lyanna Stark gave birth to Jon Snow, and her father is probably Rhaegar Targaryen. So Jon Snow is a Targaryen, you know. So this whole theory that's been floating around the internet or whatnot is pretty much true. So, but the most interesting thing in this scene is that when Ned was running up the tower, Bran called out to him like, "Father," and he turned around. He didn't see anybody, but he thought he heard somebody. Now, that's crazy because Bran is from the present and he's going back to the past, and he was able to communicate and almost powerful enough to call out someone from the past. And I don't know how that's going to play into the story later, but if it does, holy cow, that's going to really mess up some huge storylines, right? So anyway, a Three-Eyed Raven pulled him back, and that's the end of that scene. But holy shit, that whole thing was just amazing. I loved it. There's nothing about that I would change. So I'm just gonna very quickly go through the storyline Marine, right? So Varys interrogate Vala. That is the girl who pretended to sleep with the Unsullied. Well, not sleep, but like kind of like nurtured him, and then had the sons of Harvey cut their throat or whatnot. So he interrogated Vala, and he made a deal for her to tell him everything, and then he set up a ship for her to leave Marine with her son. And that's about it for that scene. The thing is, in that scene also, Tyrion is waiting for Varys to finish interrogation. I can never say that word. Freaking 20 years in America and I still can't speak English. So anyway, Tyrion is having a conversation with Grey Worm and Missandei. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to see Tyrion being witty and whatnot, but at this point, that's all he's been doing lately. Almost like a comic relief character, right? And it just, I don't know. Like I said, it's like the Sam and Gilly scene. It's just dragged. It's not even that funny, in my opinion. So that's it for Marine in this episode. In King's Landing, this was pretty interesting because we have Jaime Lannister, Cersei, and the Mountain going into the small council, with Cersei's uncle, I forgot the lady, Olar Martell. Yeah, I don't know. The grandma from the Martell family is there. Grand Maester Pycelle is there, and Marjorie's father is there, right? The thing is, Cersei is not allowed to be on the council. So when she walked in with the Mountain and Jaime, and they were like, "We're gonna be here, whether you like it or not." And I thought the Mountain was just gonna like swing out and kill all of them on the spot, but he didn't. However, the tension that built up in this episode, in that scene, for sure there's gonna be repercussion in later parts of the story, and I thought that was a great build up. I call them the badass trio now, like the Mountain, Jaime, and Cersei. They look like they come straight from like a video game. You know how you always got like a big dude, a girl, and then like a sword fighter, and they look just like that. I don't know, like the nerdy part of me just went like ballistic, like berserk. I'm like, oh yeah, it's gangster, loving it, So real quick with Arya's story, quick training montage, and she gets her eyes back at the end. In every scene, they were like, "Who are you?" She's like, "I am no one." I'm like, I swear, man, I freaking hear that shit one more time, I'm gonna flip. Like, "Who are you?" "I am no one." "Who are you?" "I am no one." And they was like, "Tell me Arya's story." And then she starts saying, her father's Ned Stark, blah blah. And I don't know, like maybe in the books they explain it better, but in the show it's just like, you are no one, but tell me who you are, or tell me who the person is, and you gotta explain it and this and that, and I don't know, man. It's just, I could care less. But I'm just glad that the whole training is over quickly. In like 2 minutes, it's done. And she gets her eyes back, so I guess she's gonna do more interesting stuff again. Like I said, this whole episode is a lot of build up, and yeah, maybe something's gonna happen in Hornhill with Samuel Tarly's hometown. That's why they're trying to build it up, but nothing really happened. And with Arya, she gets her eyes back, like, oh, okay, good. And then, but nothing really happened. And yeah, just a lot of that. One of the most interesting character that popped up is Lord Umber, right? So, brain fart. Ramsay Snow took over his father's job as the Warden of the North, and he already got Karstark behind him, and this time he's trying to get the loyalty of Lord Umber, which is another big house in the north. Now this guy, Lord Umber or whatnot, I don't know his first name, but yo, he's a force to be reckoned with. Like, I had no idea, I never heard of him, but he showed up, and Ramsay was trying to like act all superior to him. He's like, yo, this guy got guts. He got grit. He was like, nah, your father didn't die because of poison. You killed him. Your father was a cunt and you killed him. My father was a cunt. If he didn't die, I would have killed him myself too. And Ramsay was like, well, swear your loyalty to me. He's like, nope, not fucking swearing loyalty to you. And he's like, well, bend the knee and kneel down. He's like, I ain't fucking doing that either. Your dad, your father bent the knee to Robb Stark and killed him. How'd that work out for you, And it's interesting because Ramsay doesn't take this as an offense. He looks intrigued, like turned on, like, you're my kind of guy, And but Ramsay still got to play his role, his position as the Lord. So he's like, well, you won't bend the knee, and you're not submitting to me in any kind of way. How'd I trust you? And Lord Umber's like, because I brought you a gift. And he brings in 2 people. And Ramsay was like, I hope it's a girl. I like redhead. And he's like, haha, there's a girl, a wild one. So they bring in 2 captive, and they have like a hood on. So he pulled one of the hood off, and it's Osha. I'm like, fuck! No! And sure enough, the other person was Rickon Stark. So Osha and Rickon has been missing since season 3. And I didn't know they're going to even come back or play a role. But yes, they are back. And Ramsay was like, how did I know that's Rickon Stark? So they come in and bam, they have a dire wolf head on the table. And Ramsay was like, welcome home, Lord Stark. And I thought that was great. So overall, this whole episode, not a lot of things happen. I think it's mostly build up. But, I guess because of the last 2 episodes going so fast and so interesting, and this one just seems to drag for me, right? I think in the next episode, things are going to start to come together. But as of where it stands right now, the only highlight in this episode was the flashback for me, most definitely, and the introduction of Umber, right, the character that I just talked about. So overall, it's good, but I say nowhere near as good as how the opening 2 episodes has been. So I give it a 3 out of 5.